Hello everyone, this is a setup tutorial and overview video of our Radial menu system. The first half I'm going to show you how to get this set up in your game. You will want to set up any controller or character. It really doesn't matter where you put it. I personally created a controller in the demo selection. You could find this in demo content, PC demo playable character demo controller. I'll close all these widgets for now, and you'll simply, I'll just delete that for now, add Radial menu, and you'll see an option like that, and compile. We're going to get some errors because I also need you to set up a option, a button essentially, to where you want to pull up the menu. In this case we're using 1, and for gamepad we're using the top facing button, which would be usually the pause button. Or no, that's not the pause button. My bad, sorry. That's the Y button or triangle button if you're using a PlayStation controller. And what you're going to do is you're going to simply just hit get and open Radial and close Radial, and we could do that again here. Now honestly you wouldn't need to do even this if you have a button already set up in the project settings. If I could find that real quick, sorry. In the project settings, you could go ahead and go to input, and you could create a action mapping such as the jump button, where you would hit the plus and create an action mapping called open Radial menu, which when releases close Radial menu. That is all set up by your choice. Once we have this, you are almost done. We're just going to open up this so that it pops open the Radial menu blueprint. If you're using a character that isn't the third person character, go ahead and open the event graph, go to find the event begin play, go to character call, and change this character call to whichever character you are using. If you're using the first person template, the third person template, again this one's using the third person template, you just want to basically set this up whichever way you want. And outside of that, the functionality, once you have all that set, is to use these character char references, which you would have replaced right here at the event begin play, and you're simply going to just start making calls. So I have an example character, the third person character template, and I have a couple custom events for when the top right ability is called, the top left, bottom right, bottom left, bottom center, and top center right here. And when you use these buttons on the Radial, it will just print a string to the console for now. But you could set this up to whatever you want, whether it's eating a food item to heal your character, or equipping a weapon, or hitting an emote like Fortnite's emote wheel. That would all be possible throughout your own functions. You pretty much just want to connect them from the Radial menu. You'd want to go char reference and call your custom event from there. Pretty basic stuff. Everything else is handled within the player controller, and we are done the setup. You from here on out should be good. There's nothing more you need to do to have this working the way you want it to. Just simply add the component. As a rehash, we're going to add the component. That's step 1. Step 2 is opening up the component and making sure your character call is correct in the case that you have something different. And step 3 would be making sure that your calls are also correct for what you want each button to do. With that out of the way, I want to show the features that this plugin has, and that would be if we click on the Radial component, Radial menu component, we have a couple options here. The first one you'll see is slow-mo. 0.5 slows the time down by half. You could set this to whatever you want. You could set it to 1 for no time. You could set it to 0 to freeze time entirely. If you wanted to be weird for some reason, you could set it to like 4 and speed up time. I wouldn't recommend that. I don't think that would be a good gameplay mechanic, but you know, whatever fits you. I just have 0.5. I think it's a good space. You could select auto select or not. This basically means, does the player have to press A or press down on the key in order to select the item on the radial wheel, or do they simply just hold it in that position and have it hovered? I like to have auto select. I think most games traditionally do auto select. You never need to press more buttons. Controller preference is whether you want the right stick or left stick of the gamepad. I have right stick here, which would be your looking stick traditionally. Left stick would be your movement stick, but whatever you want. Mouse sensitivity, you don't have to worry about touching that. That's just how sticky you want the mouse controller to be. You have true radial mode, which is auto select forced. Again, forcing that, so this isn't even needed. And hover and click mode. Hover and click mode is where it will use the button methods, and there's a button overlay for each and every single part of the wheel, and you kind of just go and click which one you want. True radial is what everyone should be used to when playing a game, and is my recommended mode, but we have the two options there just for, you know, customization's sake. You then have styles. We have the wheel corner, paintbrush style, and custom texture style. In the meantime, we're going to use the wheel corners. And finally, you got to check if you want a 4-piece, 5-piece, or 6-piece wheel. We'll do a 4-piece for now. And then down in the personalization, you could type whatever you want each one to be. Top left item, top middle, top right, bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right, and center text, which is when nothing is highlighted. And that is all. From here, if I were to launch up the game, you would see I'm just using the third-person template, and when I hit the 1 key, which we set for the mouse and keyboard, or if I hit the facing key for the controller, we'll open up this. You can see it slows down time by half, and when I use the look, I could bounce between all these things: top, bottom right, bottom left, top right. And if I were to just hold on to one, you can see top right button working, top left, and this is where your calls would essentially be. Now let's go ahead and show the other customization options. So we have the paintbrush style as well. Let's also show off another wheel. We'll hit the 5-piece wheel. So now it's going to have 5 options. So now you're going to see that it opens up, and we have a top right, top left, bottom right, and bottom center. And you could enter whichever ones you want. And, you know, it just works as is. And then we have, let's say, the 6-piece wheel, and now we're going to use the custom texture style. And so the custom texture style means, like, let's say you don't like the wheel corner, which, let me show a 6-piece wheel corner real quick, just because I feel like I haven't. It is, you know, a pie chart, essentially, and you could, you know, select whatever you want, and it's all good and done. But let's say, you know, you don't want the textures, you want a 6-piece wheel, you want it with your own custom textures, and let's say you also don't like the camera stutter or shutter sound, which I do need to change actually. This is going to be UI sound, I think is what I called it. Yeah, in the meantime we'll just say possess player. I have no clue how that sounds, but we're just going to try that. And with the custom texture, we're going to select any texture here. So let's say you have your hovered, we're going to use this 127 gray, and for the knot, we're just going to use a white square. And there we got a white and a gray for hover, white for default. Of course, this is where you would put your own customized textures. It doesn't matter what you use here. It's pretty much compatible with everything. And it's going to use this possess player. No clue what it says. And then just, oh, that's why. Okay, I have a typo. I will fix that before you guys get the product, obviously. Bottom middle bar did not say bottom middle, it was saying bottom left, which could be confusing. There we are. And you're going to see that we have all these squares now. And that is loud, but that is the possessed player sound. And all the textures lighting. Now obviously it's just a clutter of white squares, it doesn't really look that clean, but again, this is the Unreal Engine default white box texture. It is not meant for a user interface. You could throw probably just about anything in here. It's not going to look the greatest. Android icon, that sounds weird. Let's do that, because why not? And look at that. We have an amalgamation of the Android icons sitting in a circular shape. And to quote Todd Howard, it just works. For now, I don't have any. We're just going to go back to the defaults here. But that is pretty much the functions. You get your personalized things. So let's say top left was... let's do an emote wheel. What are some dances here I say to the audience I don't have? We'll say the boogie, the swing, oh, wing. Oh, you know why? Wings of Redemption Rage. Because we said wings, we cannot go back. The swing. And you know, we could just keep on writing up stuff. I don't know, gritty. The whip. And nay, nay. And this is ridiculous, but we're doing this for the sake of tutorial showing, right? And I don't know anymore. Robot, the robot, and then center text is center text. And we'll go to we're not using customized textures anymore. We'll go back to, we'll go paintbrush style. Go ahead and select one. And you see the swing, Wings of Redemption Rage, the boogie, the gritty, robot, whip and nay. And, you know, then I would put these emotes into the game if I was the developer, but I'm just working on the project and making sure that this is accessible to everyone. And that's pretty much that. If you have any questions, I have a Discord. It's public. You could join in the link below or find it on the store page. And I'm looking forward to hearing your questions and concerns if you have any, as well as you know, any suggestions for updates in the future, just overall. And have a good day. I hope this helped. See ya.